time is 6:15. Here is the news edited by Dulmin Samrasinghe, read by Victor Raj. Here are the headlines of the local news. Principals, teachers and students arrive in schools. The importance of preparing a legal framework for social media emphasized. People warned of an increased risk of COVID patients. Petroleum Corporation chairman says they have requested the government to increase fuel prices. Foreign news, document leak reveals nations are lobbying to change key climate report. Sports news, cricket Pakistan A team will arrive in the country to take part in a 4-match series. Local news in detail. Schools with less than 200 students were opened today. Reports from all provinces said that arrival of students and teachers at schools were around 95%. Senior DIGs of all provinces have sent a report in this regard to the IGP. Opening of the schools in the northern province remained at 90%. Northern Province Education Secretary Lakshman Ilangan said that 80% of teachers and 50% of students arrived in the schools. Slave Island Police said that except for Al-Amin School, where trade union leader Joseph Starling teaches, all other schools in the vicinity were opened. 407 schools with less than 200 students, 200 schools in the North Province were opened today. 101 principals have reported for duty. North Central Province Governor Mahipala Hera said that the 4,000 students arrived in schools today. 90% of schools with less than 200 students in the Sabragama Province were open today. Sabragama Province Governor Tikiri Kobbakadwa said that 47% of teachers and 40% of students arrived in schools today. Central Province Governor Lalit Gamage said that the rate of students, teachers and principals arriving at schools remained at a successful level today. Northwestern Province Governor Willie Gamage said that arrival of students, teachers and principals at schools was about 90%. Eastern Province Governor Anuradha Hampat said 565 schools in the province were open today. 67% of province principals and 48% of teachers have reported for duty. Our reporter said that 65% of the teachers and 85% of students in the southern province arrived in schools. 500 in schools in Hoover and Central Province have been opened today. Youthful Offenders Training Schools Amendment Draft Bill passed with amendments in Parliament today. Criminal Court Amendment Draft Bill passed in Parliament today without amendments. Taking part in the debate, MP Sakara Kharibasam said that regulations should be properly implemented when developing the country. Hatred is socialized over the social media since it has no legal framework. The youth use social media as the main news medium. MP Karyosam said that certain groups are using social media to destabilize the country. Therefore, he said it is important to the country to regulate them. Samagijana Balavegya MP Talatatu Korala said it is better for the country to have one law. State Minister Arundhika Fernando said that he supported to socialize youth inmates. He said his ministry, together with the Prisons Department, is using inmates for cultivation promotional program. He pointed out successful results can be achieved by using them in the export plantation industry following a training. Minister Rohit Abegunawardena said that political revenge should be stopped under any government. He said the government will not hesitate to take legal action against offenders. Taking part in the debate, Minister Ali Shabri said that the proposals in the Act are opportune for present times. He said the aim is to strengthen the law. MP Kavinta Chavadana said the justice should be meted out for the victims of his Sunday attack. Director General of Health Services Dr. Asila Gunawardana says that strict restrictions have to be imposed again if the number of COVID patients was increased due to the negligence of the public. During a media briefing in Colombo today, he requested the public to strictly follow the health guidelines. He requested them to stay at home as much as possible. Chairman of the Petroleum Corporation, Sumit Vijay says that a request has been made to the government to increase fuel prices as oil prices in the world market have rapidly increased. He said the corporation has incurred a huge loss by not increasing fuel prices. He further said that not using oil tanks in Trincomalee is also a major loss. He pointed out that although oil tanks were given to India under the Indo-Lanka agreement, they are using only a few tanks. Mr. Vijay said the present minister is taking measures to use those oil tanks. Education Minister Dinesh Gunawardana says that he is happy for being able to open schools. The minister said that he is thanking to the teachers and principals of commencing educational activities of the children. 3,800 schools with less than 200 schools were opened today. The minister said government hopes to continue with schools education. This news comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Continuing with more local news, Commander of the Navy Vice Admiral Nishant Olugathanna today visited Sanda Hirusaya in the sacred city of the Anuradhapura to review its ongoing construction work. It is constructed with manpower and industrial expertise of the Tri-Services and Civil Security Department. The construction work of Sanda Hirusaya is scheduled to be completed by November this year. Ambassador of the United States of America to Sri Lanka, Elena B. Triplett, paid a farewell call on Foreign Minister Professor G.L. Pires at the Foreign Ministry. Minister Pires discussed with Ambassador Triplett the future of the bilateral relationship between Sri Lanka and the United States, with particular reference to trade, investment and cooperation in the international fora. That ends local news.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddhalepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddhalepa, the Vidya Mahatmya in every home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vidya Mahatmya.
The health minister says that another 8,790 coronavirus patients have recovered and discharged within the last 24 hours. This brings the number of COVID-19 recoveries in Sri Lanka to 502,464. A total of 533,305 cases of coronavirus have been registered in the country thus far, while 17,298 of them are currently being treated across the island. The death toll due to the virus stands at 13,543. That ends main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vidya Mahatmya.
Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddhalepa.
And now in Watchlight.
The Institute of Certified Management Accountants of Sri Lanka will conduct performance-based strategic management accounting series on value-based management in government today from 6:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. via Zoom. The webinar will be conducted by Gary Cockins, who is an internationally recognized expert, speaker and author in advanced cost management and performance improvement systems. That ends Watchlight.
World News.
World News headlines first. Document leak reveals nations are lobbying to change key climate report. Barbados elect a first ever president ahead of becoming republic. Netflix employees protest transphobic Dave Chappelle's comedy show. World News in detail. A huge leak of documents seen by media shows how countries are trying to change a crucial scientific report on how to tackle climate change. The leak reveals Saudi Arabia, Japan and Australia are among countries asking the UN to play down the need to move rapidly away from fossil fuels. It also shows some wealthy nations are questioning paying more to poorer states to move to greener technologies. This lobbying raises questions for the COP26 climate summit in November. Barbados has elected its first ever president as it prepares to become a republic, removing Queen Elizabeth as head of state. Dame Sandra Marzon, aged 72, is said to be sworn in on 30th of November, which will mark the country's 55th anniversary of independence from Britain. The first woman to serve on the Barbados Court of Appeals, Dame Marzon has been Governor General since 2018. About 100 people have protested outside Netflix headquarters over the airing of the comedy special by Dave Chappelle, which they say was transphobic. Netflix staff and transgender activists staged the walkout outside the streaming giant's Los Angeles offices. Demonstrators called on Netflix to fund more trans and non-binary talent and other measures to avoid transphobic and hate speech. To wrap up the world news, let's take a look at the headlines once again. Document leak reveals nations are lobbying to change key climate report. Barbados elects first ever president ahead of becoming republic. Netflix employees protest transphobic Dave Chappelle comedy show. That ends World News.
And now in development news.
Under the IFC DFAT Women in Work program, IFC officially presented the financial and digital financial literacy training modules to the Central Bank of Sri Lanka Governor Jitnivat Cabral. The program facilitated innovative delivery of financial awareness during the COVID-19 pandemic and introduced digital delivery for adult audiences. That ends development news.
Sports news.
Pakistan A team will arrive in the country today to take part in 4-match series with Sri Lanka A team. 2 4-day matches will be played at Pallekele International Stadium in Kandy. The 3 one-day matches will be played at Rangiri Dambalu International Stadium. The series will commence on Wednesday. Sadira Sambravikrama will lead the Sri Lanka A team. Meanwhile, another match of the ICC Men's T20 World Cup is now being played between Bangladesh and Papua New Guinea at Al Amarat. Batting first, Bangladesh scored 187 for 7 wickets in 20 overs. In reply, Papua New Guinea was 17 for 4 wickets in 6 overs a short while ago. The match between Oman and Scotland will begin at 7:30 p.m. local time at Al Amarat. Walter Toole, one of the English football's first black players, has been posthumously inducted into the National Football Museum's Hall of Fame. Toole signed for Tottenham in 1909 before moving to Northampton Town 2 years later. He played more than 100 games for Cobblers between 1911 and 1914 before dying aged 29 during World War I. That ends sports news.
Cash through NSB globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee? 50 co-sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners. From October 1st, 2021 to September 30th, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency through NSB U-Trust for 6 months consecutively. Send more money and increase the chances of winning.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money.
People's Bank recently introduced the benefits of modern banking services to the people of Udispattur by opening a self-banking unit at the Madadumbara Pradesh Sabha Fair building. Prior to this, there was no commercial banking presence in Udispattur town. The self-banking unit, which consists of an automated teller machine and a cash deposit machine, allows customers to enjoy fast, convenient digital banking services. That ends Business News.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money.
Cash through NSB globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee? 50 co-sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners.
Moving on to economic news, Sri Lanka's producer prices accelerated in August across all major economic activities from a month ago, while the overall index inched closer to double-digit levels from the earlier levels. According to the producer price index released by the Census and Statistics Department, prices have risen by 0.3% in August from a month ago, reversing a 2.2% contraction seen in July. That ends economic news.
Weather Report was sponsored by
Dialogue in partnership with the Ministry of Education brings Nanasa app, a trilingual educational mobile app for online learning with video-based lessons from grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with the Nanasa app. No subscription fees. Download via Google Play Store, App Store, Huawei Store or Windows. Dialogue, the future today.
The Met Department shows atmospheric conditions are favorable for formation of afternoon or evening thunder showers over most parts of the island during next few days. Hail showers above 100 mm can be expected at some places in central, Sabaragamuwa, western, north central and western provinces and in Kola and Matra districts. A few showers are likely in eastern and southern coastal areas. Misty conditions can be expected at some places in central, Sabaragamuwa, western and north central provinces. That ends the Weather Report.
Weather Report was sponsored by
Dialogue in partnership with the Ministry of Education brings Nanasa app, a trilingual educational mobile app for online learning with video-based lessons from grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with the Nanasa app. No subscription fees. Download via Google Play Store, App Store, Huawei Store or Windows. Dialogue, the future today.
A recap of headlines to wind up the evening news on Radio Sri Lanka. Principals, teachers and students arrive in schools. The importance of preparing a legal framework for social media emphasized. People warned of an increased risk of COVID patients. Petroleum Corporation chairman says they have requested the government to increase fuel prices. Foreign news, document leak reveals nations are lobbying to change key climate report. Sports news, cricket's Pakistan A team will arrive in the country to take part in a 4-match series. That ends the evening news broadcast on Radio Sri Lanka.